morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. That's the Soli Deo Gloria Bible Study coming to you on this Sunday morning, March the 1st, 2026. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is ready to be in God's house, worshiping our great God this morning in spirit and in truth. And I hope you're ready for the reading of God's Word as we continue reading from the reading plan As It Happened, a daily chronological walk through Scripture, and then on to Daily Doctrine, a one-year guide to systematic theology. This morning we'll be in the book of Numbers, chapters 14 and 15, and then Psalms 90. So join me as we read God's Word this morning. Numbers chapter 14. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, "Would that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would that we had died in this wilderness. And why is Yahweh bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become plunder. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they said to one another, "Let us appoint a leader and return to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces in the presence of all the assembly of the congregation of the sons of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, of those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes. And they spoke to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, saying, "The land which we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If Yahweh is pleased with us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. But as for you, only do not rebel against Yahweh, and do not fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their protection has been removed from them, and Yahweh is with us. Do not fear them." But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the glory of Yahweh appeared in the tent of meeting to all the sons of Israel. Yahweh said to Moses, "How long will this people spurn me? And how long will they not believe in me, despite all the signs which I have done in their midst? I will strike them with pestilence and dispossess them, and I will make you into a nation greater and mightier than they." But Moses said to Yahweh, "Then the Egyptians will hear of it, for by your power you brought up this people from their midst, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. They have heard that you, O Yahweh, are in the midst of this people, for you, O Yahweh, are seen eye to eye, while your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now, if you put this people to death as one man, then the nations who have heard of your fame will say, because Yahweh was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore to them, therefore he slaughtered them in the wilderness. So now I pray, let the power of the Lord be great, just as you have declared. Yahweh is slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgression, but he will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generations. Pardon, I pray, the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of your loving kindness, just as you also have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now." So Yahweh said, "I have pardoned them according to your word, but indeed, as I live, all the earth will be filled with the glory of Yahweh. Surely all the men who have seen my glory and my signs, which I have done in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have put me to the test these 10 times, and have not listened to my voice, shall by no means see the land which I swore to their fathers, nor shall any of those who spurn me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has had a different spirit and has followed me fully, and I will bring into the land which he entered, and his seed shall take possession of it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites live in the valleys. Turn tomorrow and set out to the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea." Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "How long shall I bear with this evil congregation who are grumbling against me? I have heard the complaints of the sons of Israel, which they are making against me. Say to them, as I live, declares Yahweh, just as you have spoken in my hearing, so I will surely do to you. Your corpses will fall in this wilderness, even all your numbered men, according to your complete number from 20 years old and upward, which have grumbled against me. Surely you have not come into the land in which I swore to make you dwell, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Your little ones, however, who you said would become plunder, I will bring them in, so that they will know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your corpses will fall in the wilderness, and your sons shall be shepherds for 40 years in the wilderness, and they will suffer for your unfaithfulness until your corpses come to an end in the wilderness. According to the number of days which you spied out the land, 40 days, for every day you shall bear your guilt a year, even 40 years, and you will know my opposition. I, Yahweh, have spoken. Surely this I will do to all this evil congregation who are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall come to an end, and there they will die. As for the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, and who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing out a bad report concerning the land, even those men who brought out the very bad report of the land died by a plague before Yahweh. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh remained alive out of those men who went to spy out the land. Then Moses spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. In the morning, however, they rose up early and went up to the ridge of the hill country, saying, Here we are. We will go up to the place which Yahweh has promised, because we have indeed sinned. But Moses said, Why then do you trespass against the command of Yahweh, when it will not succeed? Do not go up, for Yahweh is not among you, so that you are not defeated before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites will be there in front of you, and you will fall by the sword, inasmuch as you have turned back from following Yahweh. And Yahweh will not be with you. But they went up heedlessly to the ridge of the hill country. Neither the ark of the covenant of Yahweh nor Moses moved from the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down and struck them and beat them down as far as Hormah. Chapter 15. Now Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, When you enter the land of your places of habitation, which I am going to give you, then make an offering by fire to Yahweh, a burnt offering or a sacrifice, to fulfill a special vow, or as a freewill offering, or in your appointed times, to make a soothing aroma to Yahweh from the herd or from the flock. And the one who brings his offering near shall bring near to Yahweh a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. And you shall prepare wine for the drink offering, 1/4 of a hin, with the burnt offering, or for the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram you shall prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall bring near 1/3 of a hin of wine as a soothing aroma to Yahweh. When you prepare a bull from the herd as a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill a special vow or for peace offerings to Yahweh, then you shall bring near with the bull from the herd a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of oil. And you shall bring near as the drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine as an offering by fire, as a soothing aroma to Yahweh. Thus it shall be done for each ox, or for each ram, or for each of the male lambs, or of the goats, according to the number that you prepare, so that you shall do for everyone according to their number. All who are natives shall do these things in this manner, in bringing near an offering by fire, as a soothing aroma to Yahweh. And if a sojourner sojourns with you, or one who may be among you throughout your generations, and he offers an offering by fire as a soothing aroma to Yahweh, just as you do so he shall do. As for the assembly, there shall be one statute for you and for the sojourner who sojourns with you, a perpetual statute throughout your generations. As you are, so shall the sojourner be before Yahweh. There shall be one law and one judgment for you and for the sojourner who sojourns with you. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, When you enter the land where I am going to bring you, then it shall be that when you eat of the food of the land, you shall raise up a contribution offering to Yahweh. Of the first of your dough, you shall raise up a cake as a contribution offering, as a contribution offering of the threshing floor, so you shall raise it up. From the first of your dough, you shall give to Yahweh a contribution offering throughout your generations. But when you unintentionally fail and do not observe all these commandments which Yahweh has spoken to Moses, even all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Moses, from the day when Yahweh commanded and onward throughout your generations, then it will be, if it is done unintentionally, hidden from the sight of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one bull from the herd for a burnt offering as a soothing aroma to Yahweh, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the legal judgment, and one male goat for a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the sons of Israel, and they will be pardoned, for it was an error, and they have brought their offering, an offering by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their error. So all the congregation of the sons of Israel will be pardoned, with the sojourner who sojourns among them, for it happened to all the people through error. Also, if one person sins unintentionally, then he shall bring near a 1-year-old female goat for a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement before Yahweh for the person who goes astray when he sins unintentionally, making atonement for him that he may be pardoned. You shall have one law for him who does anything unintentionally, for him who is a native among the sons of Israel, and for the sojourner who sojourns among them. But the person who does anything with a high hand, whether he is a native or a sojourner, that one is blaspheming Yahweh, and that person shall be cut off from among his people. Because he has despised the word of Yahweh and has broken his commandment, that person shall be completely cut off. His guilt will be on him. Now the sons of Israel were in the wilderness, and they found a man gathering wood on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering wood brought him near to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him in custody, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. Then Yahweh said to Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. So all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him to death with stones, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses. Yahweh also spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and tell them that they shall make for themselves tassels on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and that they shall put on the tassel of each corner a cord of blue, and it shall be a tassel for you to look at and remember all the commandments of Yahweh, so as to do them and not follow after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you played the harlot, so that you may remember to do all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out from the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yahweh your God. Psalms 90, a prayer of Moses, the man of God. Lord, you have been our dwelling place from generation to generation. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn man back to dust and say, Return, O sons of men, for 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday when it passes by, or as a watch in the night. You have swept them away like a flood. They fall asleep. In the morning they are like grass, which sprouts anew. In the morning it blossoms and sprouts anew. Toward evening it withers away and dries up. For we have been consumed by your anger, and by your wrath we have been dismayed. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. For all our days have declined in your fury. We have finished our years like a sigh. As for the days of our life, they contain 70 years, or if due to might, 80 years. Yet their pride is but labor and wickedness, for soon it is gone, and we fly away. Who knows the power of your anger and your fury, according to the fear that is due you? So teach us to number our days, that we may present to you a heart of wisdom. Return, O Yahweh, how long will it be? And be sorry for your slaves. O satisfy us in the morning with your loving kindness, that we may sing for joy and be glad all our days. Make us glad according to the days you have afflicted us, and the years we have seen evil. Let your work appear to your slaves, and your majesty to their sons. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish for us the work of our hands. Establish the work of our hands. And that's going to conclude our reading from the biblical text. Now we will move on to Daily Doctrine. Day 60, Evangelism and the Sovereignty of God. Of all the objections to the doctrine of election, the most popular objection among ordinary Christians today is that a Reformed view of God's sovereignty undermines evangelism and missions. In some circles, it is considered an undeniable fact that Calvinism implies an indifference to sharing the gospel. If God is the one who chooses, the argument goes, and all the elect and only the elect will be saved, why bother with the Great Commission? On the face of it, this argument may make strictly logical sense, but it is miles away from biblical logic. The Bible has no problem joining the absolute sovereignty of God with a zeal for evangelism. For example, in Romans chapter 9, before Paul declares that God has mercy on whomever he wills, and he hardens whomever he wills, verse 18, Paul first confesses, I have great sorrow and unceasing anguish in my heart, for I could wish that I myself were accursed and cut off from Christ for the sake of my brothers, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, verses 2 and 3. Paul believed in election and reprobation, and his heart broke for the lost, which is why his heart's desire and prayer to God was that his fellow Jews might be saved. Chapter 10, verse 1. The doctrine of election is not a hindrance to evangelism and missions. To the contrary, election is a support to these noble tasks. When Paul was ready to leave Corinth for some place more responsive to the gospel, God kept him there with the assurance that he had many people in that city. Acts chapter 18, verses 9 through 11. A strong belief in God's sovereignty is what can keep a missionary on the field when the opposition is thick and the harvest seems thin. As Paul told Timothy, I endure everything for the sake of the elect. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 10. Many of the greatest evangelists and missionaries in the modern era have been Calvinists. Theodore Frelinghuysen, William Tennant, Jonathan Edwards, and George Whitefield were all instrumental in the Great Awakening, and all of them believed in God's determinative choice in salvation. John Eliot, David Brainerd, William Carey, Henry Martyn, Adoniram Judson, Robert Moffat, David Livingstone, and Robert Morrison were all prisoners in the modern missionary movement, and they were all Calvinists. Neither the Bible nor the history of the church supports the idea that a high view of God's sovereignty kills missions and evangelism. God can work without means or contrary to means, but he usually works through means, which means he uses us to share the good news with others. Jesus taught that sinners could not come to him unless the Father drew them. John 6:44. But this did not prevent Jesus from presenting a genuine offer of the gospel. Chapter 6, verse 35. Election is the reason people can come, never a reason for people to be turned away. All that the Father gives to Christ will come to Christ, and whoever comes will never be cast out. Chapter 6, verse 37. Far from a detriment to sharing the gospel, a firm belief in election provides evangelistic hope in a hard-hearted, disobedient world. The Lord has elect sheep in the world, and though they may be far from the fold now, one day they will hear their master's voice and believe. Our task is to open our mouths and speak on the behalf of the Good Shepherd. And that's going to conclude our reading from the biblical text and Daily Doctrine. As we saw some interesting things going on here in Numbers. The fickle heart and the rebellious heart of the people, crying out against God, wanting to go back to Egypt. God finally being tired of their grumbling and their complaining, and so determined, because they believed the bad report from the 10 spies and chose to go that direction. God would not allow them to enter the promised land. They would die in the wilderness, and it will happen that way. And then we see the Psalms from Moses being read this morning from Psalms 90, what he wrote in response to that. And then in Daily Doctrine, we understand God's sovereignty in election and evangelism. God's elect are out there. We do not know who they are. And they must be drawn to God. He will draw them to himself. And the means he uses is us to speak the truth in love and let them hear the gospel call. They will come to him. We don't know who the elect are. Remember that. Hope you have a blessed day today. Enjoy your day of worship. Soli Deo Gloria.